Here in Charleston, there's so much to see and so much to do. There's great food, there's great sights, but also the sounds. And a lot of that comes from some of our local artists, and one of those being Lauren Hall, who's joining me right now. And Lauren, thank you so much for your time. Just kind of tell us first off how you got to become a musician.
First off, thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it. I started playing music when I was a young teenager. I was probably 12 years old when I picked up a guitar for the first time. Started writing songs, started my own band when I was about 15, 16 years old. And I released my first EP. I recorded it here in Charleston when I was around 15 as well. And then just started getting plugged into the community, trying to take as many gigs as I could wherever they'd have me, singing in dive bars, and then, getting involved at the radio stations and just trying to build my base here in Charleston and trying to make my way to Nashville too.
Just kind of tell me, you did say that you started that band very young.
Yes.
Your dad also being a part of that band, or did a little bit later?
He was there from the start. He's been like a huge influence, and a part of why I am into music, because I grew up watching him play in cover bands or church ministry, and I've just seen him be involved in music for a long time. So he was the first person that I went to when I wanted to write songs, and I was like, I don't know how to do this. I don't really know how to get plugged into the community. Like, will you help me? And he was like, get to work. Yeah, I'll help you, but you need to get to work. And he did. He was there with me for my first gig. He also plays guitar, so we played a little acoustic gig, and then he's now my drummer even to this day. So it's always a fun thing having your dad in your band, as you grow up in bars when you're like 16, 17 years old. Lots of funny stories, but yeah, he's been there the whole way.
So just tell me, was it love at first sight when you picked up a guitar, or was it one of those things that you got better as you went along and you just knew that if you really wanted this, it was going to have to take some time?
Well, I mean, for sure, with music, with anything you do, it's going to take time and hard work. And guitar especially, you have to build up these things, these little calluses on your fingers, and it hurts really bad at first. You kind of want to give up. So definitely it took some work getting used to, you have to learn how to learn all the different strum patterns, and then trying to sing and play at the same time is it's kind of difficult at first. So it's lots of time, lots of hours spent just kind of learning your craft and learning how to be comfortable with your guitar and singing in front of people. But it did come pretty easy once I got the hang of it. It's just, putting in the work and learning.
And this right here, what I'm sitting in right now, is this the chair that you write your songs in? This is really your
this
corner.
this little section right here. Lots of songs been written on this couch. It's my happy place to come and be with my guitar and just sing melodies or whatever ideas I have at the moment. This is where a lot of the songwriting happens, for sure.
Now, is it just coming natural for you, or is there some times where something happens in your life and you write about it? I know that you said that one song in particular, something had happened in your life and it became a great song for you to be able to release and just be able to get those emotions out. Is that all the songs, or just some of them are just some things that you think about?
I mean, songwriting, I feel for me, it never happens the same way twice. But sometimes it's usually always a real life experience for me, and everybody's different with songwriting. Some people like to take other people's stories, or they hear somebody's going through something and they'll translate their story and kind of make it their story, and that's great. I love songwriting like that. But I grew up loving Taylor Swift and her songwriting style of how she made it so personal to her. And she had a really cool connection with her fans and people that listened to her, because everybody knew this is something she lived, that she went through. And so when they would listen to her music, it was more genuine, I feel because it's coming from the artist, their life experiences. So I do tend to try to do that.
So Lauren, really keeping a lot of your music right here in the Low Country. You've done a lot of shows here as well. How special is that for you to make sure you keep that music right here?
I think it's a really cool thing to start out having your home base in your hometown, especially somewhere like Charleston, where it's, honestly, isn't it still the #1 city in America or the world or something?
Oh, we think so. I know that for sure.
It's been named, people love Charleston. Anywhere you go, when we travel for gigs, or when I go to Nashville, you bring up Charleston, everybody knows what Charleston is. They've either been there or heard of it, but we have such a cool community of music and arts, and I think it's been a really cool thing to, specifically just try to grow from being in Charleston and playing local shows and growing a fan base organically that way. Because a lot of people, and it's different for everybody, they'll pick up and move to Nashville, And you know, I had thoughts of that when I was younger, and like I thought about like, is that the path I want to take, or do I want to kind of split my time and kind of work on growing my base from where I am and still going to Nashville? And that's kind of what I've been doing. And I think it's been working pretty well for me. I know it's different for everybody, but there's a lot of opportunities here with radio stations, with TV stations like y'all that want to support artists and give us a platform. And it's just been a really cool thing to stay here and work with the locals and the venues. And I've loved just growing here and growing in my music in Charleston. It's been a great experience for me.
And thank you so much for your time, Lauren. This will not be the last time we'll hear from her. And of course, if you are a local artist, and it could be anything from a painter, a singer, a writer, doesn't matter, make sure you guys go ahead and send us an email on the contact below, and make sure that we can get the next opportunity to show another local artist.